Paper Designs Italy has just released a junk journal kit featuring vintage birds. Part of the collection is also a separate pack of vellum papers and rice papers. I'm going to show you how I turned an old book cover into a new junk journal using these designs. The first thing I did was sort out the papers and elements that I wanted to use for my junk journal, and I created 2 signatures by folding several of the vellum sheets and junk journal pieces in half. I'll use these later to insert into my book cover. I also gathered up some vintage ephemera that I can use within the journal. I've assembled each of the signatures, being mindful to create a variety of textures and sizes and keeping my color palette cohesive. I love that this journal is going to have a lot of blank spaces so that I can write down my thoughts and observations. The junk journal kit comes with a few pages of additional elements that you can trim apart and use as needed to create tags, envelopes, pockets, and labels. I'm going to cover this book cover with rice papers. First, I cover the book page with white paint before decoupaging the rice papers into place. I'm also gluing some of the tag elements onto some vintage ephemera to give them a little more stability and to cover the back sides to create some additional journaling cards. I reinforced the book spine with some vintage linen fabric. After all of my tag elements have dried, I distress the edges just to create a little bit of a more rustic look. I've also continued to ink the edges on all of my pockets and pages to give them that vintage effect that I like. Now comes the fun part. I get to layer all of those little elements from the junk journal kit with my own vintage ephemera and tape to create the most interesting collage effects and pockets and tuck spaces. To reinforce the tags and pockets, I've added some machine stitching. To assemble my journal, I want to add the signatures into the book cover, so I have simply done a tied-in ribbon technique. You'll need to create holes in which to run the ribbon through both the signatures and the book spine. Measure carefully so that all of the holes are aligned evenly. You can even create a little temporary template to use for your measurements. After I have punched through the pages with an awl, I can go ahead and thread the ribbon through the back of the book spine and up through each signature. Then tie off the ribbons. Using this technique, you can then remove the signatures if you want to change them out when your journal is complete. This was such a fun and easy junk journal to put together using the Paper Designs Italy junk journal kit and the vellum pack and the rice paper pack. They all have that vintage bird theme and work together as a cohesive collection. It's the perfect solution if you're new to journaling and don't know where to begin. Keep it simple with this collection and then add your own embellishments and trims to customize your journal for yourself or to use as a gift.